Those bank thermometer readouts get to 70 today, but doesn't officially count unless you get it at the airport. So that's where we're going with the number today. Beautiful sunrise as we start out. We're going to 30 degrees right now to start the day. We're going to more than double that today with light winds. Feels like temperature right around 30 as well. You can see most of us upper 20s to near 30 at the moment. So a little colder than yesterday. Yesterday we had 30s and 40s. Today we have 20s and 30s. Yeah, it's still February. You can still get chilly in the morning, and that's where we're starting off. So winds are pretty light. A lot of calms showing up on the map, and therefore the wind chill doesn't vary all that much from the actual air temperature, so good news there. Wind gust forecast does pick up a little bit. While it's light this morning, south wind does become a little more noticeable by the afternoon, and you could get some gusts up near 25 to end the day today. So by the time you're heading home from work, maybe just a little bit more of a breeze. There's been some clouds moving through, but overall we should have quite a bit of sunshine today. From 9 o'clock towards noon, look at all that sunshine, and we get a chance to warm to near 60. We were at 60 at lunchtime yesterday. We made it up to 66 for the high by 4 o'clock. We'll be there by 2 today, and I think we can muster about 68 for the high. In Omaha, notice though, there are some 70s on the Nebraska side, so I fully expect to see 1 or 2 of those on the map in some places on the Nebraska side today. Just a tad cooler on the Iowa side, but we should all get 60s. Then some clouds move in this evening, pretty harmless. They may try to bring a couple of showers past 8 o'clock. There, I paused it at 10. You can see a few on the map. Nothing all that much to worry about, and we head towards 3, 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. Pretty much out of here, and we'll cool off a little bit heading towards the start of Wednesday. If you get rain, you're lucky. If you do, you probably won't get much. Maybe 1/10 of an inch at most. You can see a little stripe here on this model. Could be a same story, just a different location in our area. So you see a couple little stripes of a few showers moving through. Probably doesn't cause that big of a deal. Even when we do cool down, 57 Wednesday, 58 on Thursday. A little bit of a northwest breeze trying to cool us down, but average highs in the 40s. We get 50s when we cool down. That's great. Love to see it. Pretty good week on the way. Hard to complain after last week, an 80-degree flip. So.
Anything, even like the 30s would have been acceptable. So this is more than we're asking. But the thing is, are we done with winter, though?
I don't think so. So we can still get a lot of snow in March. That's easy to do. It's usually the wet, heavy snow that doesn't stick around very long. Something to watch middle of next week. This is Monday of next week here. There is a system that's likely going to pass by mostly to our south on Monday. A small chance of a little bit out of that. You can see this model's like, what are you talking about? But the bigger deal is probably going to be Tuesday into Wednesday. Every single model has a storm system moving through the middle of the country, but it's just kind of changing the location of it, the timing a little bit as it moves through. So when you're talking a little longer range like this, you look at the big picture. And this is saying Tuesday rain, changing to Tuesday night snow. It would leave us a coating for Wednesday morning. Now, timing's going to wiggle a little bit. The location of this, the path will change, but the thing is, does that stay there on every single model run? And I think we're going to have something to watch for the middle of next week. So enjoy what we have here through this week. 47 degrees on Saturday, a little chillier, but it's this system here Tuesday and Wednesday. The odds are going up. I know I hate to bring you down and join this nice weather, but I'm here to forecast. And, we look a little farther, and that's how it goes on the 10-day. So middle of next week could be a little reminder, like, not quite done with
Not done yet.
We'll see. Maybe we get lucky and we just stay on the warm side of it and get mostly rain. But right now, I think it's a little bit of both.
I'd be okay with all rain if we were taking votes.
Okay.
I'm just
mark you down.
There's no negative signs there, so I'm happy.
Exactly. That's the right attitude. All right, you have an update on that crash on Blondo.
Yeah, so we've had a few of these different crashes this morning in the early going, and we're going to start on Blondo. This is right about where the bridge goes over the trail there, and we actually have a view on scene of what's going on there. You can see they're working. It looks like the vehicle left the roadway.
Okay.
Goes on the other side?
So this is them kind of getting into the scene, trying to get down to where that vehicle is at. So Okay, so it sounds like we're getting some information from the scene. I'll relay that as that becomes available, but until then I can kind of give you a sense of where this is on the map. And this is Blondo right about, this is 84th right here, and you're looking at right around the bridge. So they're working there in some of these areas just off of the roadway. But you want to continue to make sure that you are watching for the emergency crews that are in this area. Again, getting some more information as we're talking here, so I'll relay that as it becomes available. But what else we're seeing here in the meantime, JFK was lit up with all kinds of delays just about 10 minutes ago. That has worked itself free aside from that ramp to go to westbound I-80. So still some delays there. This will likely flare up again here in about half an hour as we get our next big wave of traffic that comes through there. There's what it looks like at this point. Pretty smooth travel for JFK standards at this point. We zoom things out and you can see Dodge as you're making your way around 72nd, one of our very busy intersections, some eastbound travel delays, mostly doing fairly well across the metro. This is not the case though as you head north of Omaha. This has been a consistent slowdown due to a crash that happened about an hour ago now. This is Highway 75. This is just off to the south of Fort Calhoun. So we've had consistent signal for delays that has been showing up there. So we zoom back out. If you travel between Omaha and Fort Calhoun, watch for the travel impacts that could be in place as a result of that crash too. So that's what we've got going on. Again, we're continuing to get some information from our photographer on the scene of that Blondo crash, and we'll relay that as it becomes available and any other things you need to know as you start off your Tuesday.
All right, Jarrett, thank you. In the meantime, an update to one of our top stories from yesterday. The Omaha Fire Department has confirmed that a person, a body, was found inside the car that ended up inside the Missouri River. Now that person has not yet been identified. Over the weekend, a report came in saying a car had gone into the river near the NP Dodge boat ramp. OFD is working with Omaha Police about any missing people reports, but so far, no matches have come up.
At least we have some closure to the incident finally, and then we're not searching for days and days and days. According to the information that we had yesterday from some of the witnesses that had pictures and video of the car, it's definitely the car that we were looking for. Again, you know, it's nice to have some closure to the incident, and you know, we can move on and the families can begin to grieve.
OFD says the low river levels helped in that search.
Happening today, Omaha mayoral candidate Jasmine Harris will officially file the signatures needed to appear on the ballot. She joins Mayor Stothert, former state senator Mike McDonnell, Douglas County Treasurer John Ewing, and Dr. T.L. Brewer in filing or announcing intentions to file. The deadline to file is this Friday. The city's primary election is April 1st. The general election is the 13th. And this reminder, First Alert 6 is hosting a mayoral debate on March 11th. Stothert, McDonnell, Ewing, and Harris will all take part. You can watch it on air or on our website, firstalert6.com. Investigative reporter and anchor Brian Mastry will serve as moderator. It is sponsored by the Omaha Press Club and the League of Women Voters of Greater Omaha.
Okay, now to the safety desk over here with Maria Kay. Maria, you have some information about the latest measles outbreak.
I know the number of cases continues to grow, unfortunately, and it's been reported in 8 states so far this year. Texas is a really big one that's getting hit pretty hard. So early on, measles can mimic a respiratory illness, causing a cough, red eyes, and extreme congestion as well. You could also be experiencing high fever. It could spike to up to 104 degrees if you do have it. And typical measles cases also have a red blotchy rash that's going to develop about 3 to 5 days after you get those initial symptoms. Before that, though, you could see some tiny white spots inside of your mouth 2 to 3 days before. Now, experts say vaccination is the best protection, and it's typically given to babies between 12 and 15 months. Then a second dose is given around age 4 to 6.
If you are living in an area where measles is circulating and you're worried about that, getting that second shot earlier is fine.
Despite this recent outbreak, experts say that measles isn't actually becoming more severe, maybe just more frequent than we've seen it in the past. Older kids and adults who have not been vaccinated can also receive the measles vaccine if you haven't gotten it already.
All right, more health information for you, or that you have for us. Millions of women are always at risk of breast cancer.
I know it's an issue that impacts so many people, so definitely an important one to talk about. And many times, actually, for women, their insurance companies might only cover that first annual screening for a mammogram, but a lot of women, especially ones who are at high risk, they are not covered under their insurance. So it's pretty unfortunate. Now, according to the American Cancer Society, over half of women age 40 and up need more than just that annual mammogram, and that is, again, because they are considered high risk. So the FDA says that women with dense breasts as well should get additional screenings, and that includes ultrasounds too. So that test is actually needed to see if something is suspicious, but under Medicare's rules, they say that ultrasounds are only covered when provided as a diagnostic test, meaning that something suspicious had to have already been found.
We're seeing a lot of patients now where insurance isn't covering, and so these patients are stuck.
Now, NBC News actually spoke with one patient who had to go in for additional mammograms after her first one, but unfortunately, because her insurance would not cover those extra screenings, she had to pay about $1,000 out of her own pocket to cover those, which, you know, can be life-saving. Definitely important.
All right, Marie-Kate, thanks so much. We're back after this.
Sure hope your morning's getting off to a really nice start. We love the sunshine. It's a cool start, so you will need a jacket, but trust us, those mild temperatures you enjoyed yesterday are going to reappear soon this afternoon. I'll check back in with Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord. I got my car washed Sunday evening. By Monday evening, it was dirty again, but I didn't mind because that means it's a lot of melting and sunshine. So
tough to keep things clean with all the melting and the road spray and stuff like that. But hey, if you need to get a layer off, you probably got a good day to do it. Hopefully you can keep it clean. Driving around with the windows down later on this afternoon again as we go to 68 for the afternoon high. The car wash forecast is a go for it. At least get a layer of salt off anyway. I know I need to do that, but upper 20s, lower 30s. Out the door right now. Yesterday we had 30s and 40s. Today 20s and 30s, so you'll notice the difference a little bit as you step out. A lot of calms on the map as far as the wind goes, so you don't have to worry about that wind chill being driven down anymore. Those are in the 20s and 30s as well. The wind gust forecast, I mentioned this, picks up a little bit by the afternoon, gusting near 25 miles per hour. So for today, that south breeze will take us up to 68 for the afternoon high. Looks phenomenal. Should still be dry through 7 o'clock, but the clouds will be increasing. And then after 8, there is the potential for a couple spotty showers. I don't think it's going to be much. You can see how if a model shows it, it isn't much, less than 1/10 of an inch, and it's not for all of us either. Just going to be a little stripe trying to go right through the middle of our viewing area. So we go 57 on Wednesday, 58 on Thursday, and 66 on Friday. Now, each of these days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, is going to have a little bit of wind with it. It's a northwest breeze, but it still will allow us to warm. So northwest winds up to about 30 miles per hour on Wednesday. I think those could hit about 25 miles per hour on Thursday, and then possibly get back up near 30 miles per hour on Friday. So it's not a very strong wind, but just enough to be a little pesky. It may help dry us out a little bit. We've done all the melting now. Yards are kind of squishy. There's a little bit of mud. I know I let the pets out yesterday. Now I have to wipe their feet when they come inside. Those are the kind of things you deal with as we start this rapid melting that we've had over the last couple of days, and we will keep it going as we make our way through the course of this next several days. So let's get a look here at the 10-day forecast, and you can see there is a storm system out here in the middle of next week, Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll be watching that, and what it'll do is likely try to bring a little rain and snow to the area. Right now, models consistently have a little rain, changing to some snow on Tuesday. Rain to start, snow by Tuesday night, changing to what could leave a little layer by Wednesday morning. So that's the next thing to first alert you to. It's out there on the 10-day, but pretty consistent sign of it that we're not done with winter just yet.
Yeah.
But it looks, sorry, go for
ahead.
it. I was going to say within the 10-day, it looks like nothing too crazy though.
That's the
which
thing.
is, I mean, even if we get that snowstorm,
Yeah.
nothing like what we saw the last 2 weeks.
We're not dragging in a big Arctic air mass behind that one, so that's good news. We don't have anything below zero.
Okay.
Like the sound of that.
Yeah.
All right, Jared has been, I feel so bad. He's so busy this morning, just running around. You have an update on that Blondo crash near Keystone?
So this is going to be some pretty sizable impacts here because
Okay.
Blondo's shut down here because of
Okay.
this crash. So let's take a look at what we've got going on here. This is what we have. The area of this is right where the bridge goes over the Keystone Trail. So traffic is being diverted here, and it looks like what's happening is they are pushing the traffic here onto 85th to not use that bridge as they continue to work that scene. So that's an area you're going to want to avoid if you can maybe use Dodge as an alternate route. I would say Maple, but we actually have a crash at 90th and Maple right now, and you can see how that's impacting things right around that same area. So this is why you probably want to head your way toward Dodge as your alternate route if you're not using Blondo because it's blocked off at this point. So getting kind of busy here with those crashes. We also have, remember I said that there was that lingering slowdown on the JFK ramp to I-80. That's because of a crash that's in place there. It's on the right shoulder, so you can get through there, but it is pretty slow along that ramp. And as we pick things up, that could start backing up onto the JFK proper as well. There's the view of that crash that's in place there on the ramp. To go to I-80 westbound. So several different crashes are in place. We also still have that crash that's on Highway 75 between Fort Calhoun and Omaha. So watch for that. That's just south of Fort Calhoun. With that one, you can see some of the delays that are in place there. We're going to keep you posted on all of this. There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, but know that if you usually use Blondo, Dodge is your option to avoid that crash there right around the 84th area.
Okay, Jared, thank you. Changes to Nebraska schools discussed in the Unicam.
That's right. One state senator is trying to revive a school voucher program for kids to attend private schools. The proposal would set aside $10 million to the state treasurer's office every year to provide K through 12 scholarships. Now here's the senator who introduced that proposal and an education official who opposes it.
We are told that if public schools just had more time and more money, they would solve these problems. Isn't half a century and who knows how many more dollars enough to show that this will not solve the problem for our children?
LB 624 lacks adequate reporting standards that would allow us to track the program's efficacy and provide transparency on how it is functioning. Without these safeguards, you risk endorsing a program that could operate without accountability.
Also discussed a bill that would require public schools and certain private schools to display the 10 Commandments in school buildings.
Happening today, a vote is expected at City Council that could help get the ball rolling on a new fire station in the metro. The city is looking to buy a plot of land near 182nd and 4th to build that station. The sticker price for the lot is around $380,000. Omaha voters passed the bonds needed to pay for the station in this past election.
Well, happening tomorrow, the city of Omaha will be hosting a town hall to answer the public's questions about the proposed firearms training center in Fort Calhoun. It will be held at the Northern Lights venue tomorrow night at 6. Fort Calhoun Mayor Mitch Robinson says the site would be on a plot of land next to a solar field just east of Fort Atkinson. Well, coming up, an update to a First Alert 6 investigation.
And we track down the owner of a lost class ring and reveal how it got lost in the first place. That's when we come back. It's time for a snack, Chocoholics.
That's right. Today is National Chocolate Covered Nut Day. Melting chocolate over nuts became mainstream in 1925 with goober candies. Did you know the word goober was slang for peanut?
No.
I didn't either. All right. Well, today M&M peanuts are probably the best known candies of this type. They came out back in 1954. They got their colorful shells in 1960. Dark chocolate has antioxidants and nuts have healthy fats. So chocolate covered nuts even have some nutritional value. Kind of good for you ish. Okay. All right. Well, you might remember our First Alert 6 investigation involving that class ring that went missing 50 years. Well, we do have some good news. The owner has been found.
Now, we still don't exactly know how that ring ended up so far away from Omaha, but Kerry Crocker graduated from Omaha Northwest back in 1978. He says his family owned an Omaha flower shop, and the ring may have somehow ended up in some soil.
Soaked potted plants and all that for many years, and I would come down there from time to time and work, so I don't know. That could be a possibility.
Now, right now, he lives in Jacksonville. Fortunately, our initial First Alert 6 investigation aired in many different cities across the country, and Crocker says a relative out in Georgia saw that story and told him about the ring. That's so incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
Because if he'd not seen that, he may not have never known.
Exactly. You know, the power of journalism and storytelling, it really shows there, really impactful.
That's nice. In pretty good condition, too, considering where it's been.
Yeah.
Years,
And we've got more questions because we saw one of our former reporters in that video. So how did she get involved? We still want answers. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on First Alert 6. We're going to get ready for our update into today's show. You can watch it here or over the air.
All right. Have a good Tuesday.
Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts now.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. It is 7:26. I'm Cerise Cole.
And I'm Erin Hartley. We've been talking about a crash all this morning. We'll get an update on how that looks with Jared.
And this is on Blondo. And if you use Blondo for your morning commute, you need to start thinking about alternate routes, which we'll help you with in just a moment. This is at the Keystone Trail Bridge. It's actually blocked off. We have a crew on the scene. This is what it's looking like. You see it's still a busy scene in that area, not letting traffic over that bridge. They're actually down into the ditch is where that vehicle ended up. So let's come back to me and I can show you where you need to go to avoid this area with that bridge, because we also have a crash at 90th and Maple. So you don't want to use Maple. There's all kinds of delays in that area. I think Dodge is where you're going to need to go to avoid both of those areas where you have crashes that are affecting traffic at this point. So keep that in mind as you're heading out the door. Also have some delays on the JFK northbound 480 right around Dodge, and we've had delays on Highway 75 between Fort Calhoun and Omaha due to a crash. So busy morning in place. Rusty.
Thanks, Jared. Out the door, it's a little on the chilly side, 20s and 30s compared to yesterday's 30s and 40s that we had. But once that sun gets a little higher, we're going to warm up at a very, very quick pace. So First Alert forecast today takes us, well, up to 68 degrees. Yeah, 68 after starting off in the 20s and 30s. A big, big warm up on the way. We did make it to 66 yesterday, so to give you a little perspective, that's just how nice it's going to be Wind out of the south and southwest today may hit 25 miles per hour by the end of the day, but overall likely not a huge impact to the day. So the afternoon is quiet. Clouds kind of traipse through, but overall sunshine, winds out. Small chance of a shower after about 8 o'clock tonight. You can see a couple little showers after 8 moving through. Shouldn't amount to much, though. Aaron?
Well, the Omaha Fire Department has confirmed a body was found inside the car that ended up in the Missouri River. The body has not yet been identified. OFD is working with Omaha police about any missing people reports, but so far, no matches.
It is 7:28, and we're back with another update for you in about 25 minutes. We'll see you then.